Hello, my dear students. In this video, I will teach you about the analysis of continuous beam. This topic is there in the fourth semester of Mumbai University Bachelor of Architecture course. For the design of continuous beam, you can refer to my other video, the link of which is given in the description box. That is the design of the continuous beam. In this video, I will teach you about the analysis of continuous beam. So let us start. First of all, what is a continuous beam? A beam which is supported on more than two supports. See, if a beam is supported on two supports at both ends, it is either a roller joint and a hinge joint, then it is called a simply supported beams. But if there are more than two supports, then it is called a continuous beam. Now, to find the support moment of this continuous beam, we use the moment distribution method. There are several methods to find the support moments, but here we will use I will show you the moment distribution method, which is also called as the MDM, and it is also known as the Hardy-Cross method. Now, before starting off, let us look at the sign convention. In this topic, we will use the clockwise moment as positive and anti-clockwise as negative. As you can see it, I have shown it in the, I have drawn one beam AB, and if you load this beam, then see the A point, the end A rotates in the anti-clockwise direction, so we will put it as negative, whereas B will rotate in the clockwise direction, so B side we will use it as positive. One more thing, when we are try to denote the moment at A, we write it as MAB. When we are trying to denote moment at B, we write MBA, like this way. You will understand once we proceed with the example. Now, before starting this moment distribution method, there are a lot of definitions or the concept you have to understand, and slowly we will come to the final stage. So first of all, we should learn that what is carryover moment. What do you mean by carryover moment, or COM? Carryover moment is the moment which is induced at the fixed end of a beam when a moment is applied at the other simply supported or hinged beam. That means what? That if at one end of the beam which is simply supported, if we apply some moment, it will have some effect on the other end, that is the fixed end. So what will be the moment induced at the fixed end due to the moment applied at the other end, simply supported end? That is called the carryover moment. It will be more clear once we take up the example. So let us look at the example. See, this is the beam AB. Now, in case, see, here we are applying a moment at the simply supported end B as the MB. We are applying one clockwise moment MB at the simply supported end B of the beam AB. Correct? Now, MB will be 4 EI theta B by L, and it will be 2 times of MA. So what will be the moment at A? Moment at A will be the half of the moment developed at B. Now what will be the moment developed at B? That will be 4 EI theta B by L. What are these things? E is the modulus of elasticity, L is the length of the beam, I is the moment of inertia. What is theta B? Theta B is the slope developed at the end B. So if we can find the moment at B, or if you know the moment at B, we can find the moment at A also. In this case means one end is fixed, other end is simply supported. So the moment developed at A will be half of moment given at B, MB, or MB equal to 2MA. Let us see the case number 2. Suppose the beam is like this way, both ends simply supported, length is L. Now you give a moment MB at the end B. Okay, so in this case moment at A will be 0, and what will be the MB value? MB value will be 3 EI theta B by L. The notations carry the same meaning as I have explained you earlier. So here you have to keep it in mind that both cases I have discussed, one is simply supported, one is one end fixed, other end is simply supported. Now what is carryover factor, COF? It is the ratio of the moment produced at the joint to moment applied at other joint without any displacement. Let us look at the case number 1, that is one end fixed, other is simply supported. In this case, if I ask you what is the carryover factor? See, the carryover factor is MA by MB, which is 1 by 2. As you can see, I have explained you there that MB equal to 2 MA. Okay, or MA is equal to MB by 2. So MA by MB equal to half. What is this? That means moment produced at a joint to the moment applied. What is the moment produced? Moment produced it as A. You remember that we have applied the moment at B, MB, and for that reason a moment was developed at A. So what is the moment produced? That is MA. What is the moment developed? That is MB. So MA by MB, this ratio is called the carryover factor. Similarly, for case number 2, MA by MB will be equal to 0. Next is very important definition, that is stiffness. What do you understand by the stiffness? Stiffness, always remember, it is a force. First of all, stiffness is a force which is required to cause unit displacement. So to cause or to induce a unit displacement, what is the force required? That is called the stiffness. Now for flexural rotation, flexural means that the moment induced. For the moment induced or the flexural rotation, the stiffness value is equal to 4 EI by L. What is stiffness factor? Stiffness factor is denoted as K. So this is the moment required at the simply supported end of a beam to produce unit rotation at that end. Rotation, unit rotation means theta. Okay, so that is equal to 1 radian without translation of either end. Now let us understand this definition. What is the stiffness factor? For the example, as I have discussed you earlier, case number 1 was what? Case number 1 was one end fixed, other end was simply supported. Okay, so in that case, if I ask, tell me the stiffness factor. So stiffness factor will be, see, MB was 4 EI theta B by L. So now if you, what is stiffness factor? Stiffness factor is the moment required to produce a unit rotation. So unit rotation means one rotation. What is the rotation? Theta B. So theta B is equal to 1. So if theta B is equal to 1, the moment comes out to be 4 EI by L. So this is the stiffness factor. What is stiffness factor? It is the moment value. Correct? Let us take the example of case number 2. Case number 2 was that both ends simply supported. What was MB? 3 EI theta B by L. Now again, theta B is equal to 1. So what will be MB? MB will be 3 EI by L. So stiffness factor for both the type of beams we have seen. Next, very important, before starting of the moment distribution table, we should know that what is distribution factor. Distribution factor or DF. It is, first of all, you remember that it is defined for a joint. Correct. So distribution factor for a member at a joint is the ratio of the stiffness factor for that member to the total stiffness of all the members meeting at a joint. So this is the technical definition, but let us understand it. What is it? Suppose ABC is a continuous beam. So why it is continuous beam? Because there are more than 2 supports. Okay, so this is a continuous beam. Now distribution factor is to be find out at a joint and for 2 members. Okay, so let us concentrate on the joint B. Joint B, how many members are there? 2 members are meeting, AB and BC. Now how do we define the distribution factor? So distribution factor is defined as the ratio of the stiffness factor for that member. Suppose we want to find out the distribution factor for BA. So distribution factor for BA is equal to the stiffness factor of BA divided by the total stiffness factor of both the members which are meeting at the joint B. So what are the members? BA and BC. So stiffness factor of BA and BC is KBA plus KBC. So like that way. For example, we want to find the distribution factor of BC. So what we will write? The stiffness factor of BC divided by the total stiffness factor of both the members meeting at that joint. So like that way we find the distribution factor. And one thing you always remember, that the summation of all the distribution factor at a joint is always 1. So this is a checkpoint. Okay. And another important thing is the distribution factor at the free end. Free end means you understand that where there is no support. So at the free end it should be always 0. Before starting off the moment distribution table, moment distribution problem, let us see that how to find out the distribution factor. So let us take this example. Example number 1, ABC is a continuous beam. The span is 6 meter and 5 meter respectively. And in the problem it is given both have the flexural rigidity EI. Okay. So now let us start. We have to find the distribution factor for BA and BC. So here the joint is B. Now distribution factor BA, first you write down the formula KBA divided by the KBA plus KBC, as I have explained few minutes earlier. So now KBA will be what? 3EI by L. As I have explained you while explaining the stiffness factor, because this is the simply supported case. Okay, so 3EI by L. L means what? 6. BA span, length of the BA is 6, so it comes out to be 0.5 EI. Now KBC will be what? 3EI by L, 3EI by 5, so it comes out to be 0.6 EI. So what will be the DF, distribution factor of BA? 0.5 EI divided by the KBA plus KBC, correct? So 0.5 EI plus 0.6 EI, which gives us to be 0.45. Similarly, distribution factor for BC can also be found out as to be 0.55, and you can check over here that after you find it out individually, the summation of both the distribution factor, that is DFBA plus DFBC, is equal to 1.45 plus 0.55 is equal to 1. So this is the checkpoint. Okay. Let us see the second example. Now here ABCD is a continuous beam. AB is of span 6 meter, BC is 8 meter, and CD, that part is overhanging. So D end is the free end and it is of 2 meter. So we have to find out the distribution factor for this beam. Now see, there are two joints, intermediate joints for we have to go for the distribution factor. Let us start with joint B. So joint B is having BA and BC as the members. Now first let us find out KBA. KBA will be what? 3EI by L. So it comes out to be 0.5 EI. KBC is 3EI by 8 meters. So that comes out to be 0.375 EI. So distribution factor of BA comes out to be 0.57. And distribution factor for BC comes out to be 0.43. Okay, so up to this part it is similar to the last problem as I have discussed. Now let us see the joint C. Okay, so joint C is having CB and CD, both members. So distribution factor for CB will be 4 EI by L. You notice that I have written it 4 with a red color to point you out. So can you think and tell me that why it is 4 EI by L? It is not 3 EI by L. Why? Think on it. So the reason is that while we are considering the joint C and considering member CB, so as there is another support at the left hand side of B, that is joint A is another support. So this CB member, it is acting that as if there is a fixed support, or the support is more fixed at the left hand side end. So here the CB part will act as a fixed end because the support A was there. When we are considering, for example, BA member, while we are considering at the left hand side of A, there were no more support. A was the extreme left support, correct, while we are considering BA. So in that case it is simply supported and we are taking 4 EI by L. But while we are taking CB member. So B is not the extreme left support. If we go from B leftward, we are having another support. So in this case, while considering the member CB, so B acts as a fixed point, fixed end. So CB will be 4 EI by L, because for that stiffness factor at the fixed end, one end is fixed, stiffness factor is 4 EI by L. So it comes out to be 0.5 EI. Next thing is stiffness factor of CD. You remember that for a free end, that is stiffness factor is 0. So here it is 0. So what will be the distribution factor for CB? CB comes out to be 1, and for CD it comes out to be 0. And finally you can see that if you add this both distribution factor 1 plus 0, it comes out to be 1. So here also the basic check, that is the summation of distribution factor at a joint, is always 1. So this is a very important and a good example or illustration of a distribution factor. Let us see example 3. A, B, C, D is a continuous beam. Span is 6 meter, 8 meter and 4 meter, as you can see it in the diagram. So we have to find the distribution factor. Let us start with the joint B. Now again, like the previous problem, also here you tell me that what is the distribution stiffness factor at BA. Stiffness factor at BA will be 3EI by L. But while we are considering BC, it will be 4 EI by L. Why? Because while we are telling the member BC, we are considering the member BC. C is not the extreme right support. Beyond C and the right hand side, at the right hand side, there is another support D. So for that reason, while considering the BC member, the C part acts as if it is a fixed support because of the existence of D. Always remember. So that's why while considering stiffness factor for BC, it will be 4 EI by L. So after that, distribution factor for BA comes out to be 0.5 and distribution factor for BC comes out to be 0.5. Now let us concentrate on joint C. So joint C, while we are writing the CB, in this case stiffness factor will be 4 EI by L. Again, think on it. Why? Because B is not the extreme left support. Beyond B there is another support A. For that reason B is acting as if it is a fixed joint because it is having a strong hold because of the existence of A. So that's why it is 4 EI by L. Similarly for CD, while we are considering, D is the extreme right joint. There is no other joint beyond D, so that D will feel like fixed, right? So D is acting is as simply supported joint. So hence it is 3I by L. Okay, so finally we are finding out distribution factor at CB as 0.4 and distribution factor as CD as 0.6. Let us look another example. ABC is a beam. One end is fixed, A end is fixed, and BC. AB is 6 meter, BC is 4 meter. So let us start at joint B. So joint B is having BA and BC. So KBA will be 4 EI by L. This is directly from the formula, correct? Because A is a fixed support. So it is coming as 0.67, sorry, and BC will be 3 EI by L because it will act as a simply supported, correct? So 3 EI by L, 0.75 EI. So DFBA comes out to be 0.47 and DFBC comes out to be 0.53. So here I have discussed all possible types of combinations of beams and distribution factor. Hope you have understood, because without this we cannot start the analysis of the continuous beam by the moment distribution method. Distribution factor is the first step which you need to find it out, then we can start the problem. So after this I will take one problem of drawing the bending moment diagram of a continuous beam by moment distribution method. Now let us look at the steps for the moment distribution method table. So first step, we have to, I will show you how we make the table, but just note down the steps in your notebook so that you remember the sequence. The number of steps are very important. So first you have to write down the joint, then the members, then the distribution factor, then you have to write down the fixed end moments value. Now if there is one hinge joint and you have written the fixed end moment value over there, so the next step is the make the hinge moment as a 0, because we know that the moment at a hinge is always 0, but we have written the fixed end moment. This is the step. So once we write the FEM, that is the fixed end moment, the next step we write the hinge moment as 0. After doing that hinge moment as 0, we carry over to the next support. Then we find out the initial moment. Then we balance the moment according to the distribution factor. Here comes the distribution factor into play. So balance moment according to the distribution factor, and finally you write the final moment. So this is for one iteration. I will explain you that where to stop the iteration. But after this, if the value doesn't match at the joint, then we have to go for the second, third, fourth, fifth iteration and try to close the difference between the two members at a joint. So let us look at the example. Draw the bending moment diagram of the continuous beam ABC. AB is of 6 meter, BC is of 5 meter, D and E are the midpoints of AB and BC respectively. In the AB span, the loading is 30 kilonewton per meter UDL, and at the BC it is 25 kilonewton per meter. So this is the problem, and here it is the final bending moment diagram. So while you are noting it down in your notebook, please keep this space blank, because below the beam we should always draw the bending moment diagram, not separately in some other place. So keep this thing blank, and after that we will see that how we make this BMD and write down the values. So keep this space blank currently, and let us move to step number 1, that is the finding the distribution factor. So the distribution factor, how to find it out, I have already explained it. So you can see it from the problem number 1. I have explained you in detail, so please refer to problem number 1. So distribution factor of BA is 0.45 and BC is 0.55. Now the next step is find the maximum bending moment. So maximum bending moment for the AB span. For the span AB, maximum bending moment will happen at the midpoint, as it is if we consider it AB as a simply supported beam, maximum bending moment of a simply supported beam under UDL will occur at the midpoint, that is the D, and its value is WL square by 8. So it comes out to be 135 kilonewton meter. Similarly, if we consider the span BC, for the span BC, simply supported beam, under UDL, the maximum bending moment occurs at the midpoint E. So bending moment at E is WL square by 8. That comes out to be 78.12 kilonewton meter. Next is step number 3, that is the find the fixed end moments, FEM. So FEM BA. So that is WL square by 12. So 30 into 6 square by 12, that is plus 90 kilonewton meter. Why it is plus? Because as I have explained you earlier, that here we will consider the clockwise moment here as the positive one. So BA, it is the clockwise moment, so it is the plus 90. But while we are considering FEM AB, value is same, but it will be anti-clockwise, hence minus 90 kilonewton meter. Similarly, for BC, you find it out same, WL square by 12, but W here it is 25 kilonewton per meter. So it comes out to be minus 52.08, and FEMCB it comes out to be plus 52.08 kilonewton meter. Hope you have noted down all the values. Now let us look at the last step, that is the moment distribution method. As I have explained you the step before starting of the problem. So first we should write the joints. So what are the joints? A, B, C. Okay. See how we make the table. Next is the member. Member is under joint A, it is AB. But under joint B, it is BA and BC. Okay. And in the joint A, there are two members, B and BC. So you put a vertical line over there, BA and BC. Correct? And the last point is the C. C is the member is the CB. At joint C, the member is the CB. So this is the second step. Third step is the distribution factor. So distribution factor is only for a joint which are having two connecting members. So it is 0.45 and 0.55. Okay. So these values we have written. Now FEM. Already I have shown you the value of FEM. So write it down. Minus 90 plus 90 minus 52.08 plus 52.08. Right. Next, as I have explained you, that if you see the diagram once again, that is A is a not a fixed joint, A is a hinge joint, so the moment is 0. But here in the last step we have written FEM at A is my AB is minus 90. So here how we will make the hinge moment 0? If we write plus 90, so minus 90 plus 90 will balance out. How we make a moment 0 which is having a moment of minus 90? How we will make that? We will balance it with plus 90. So similarly for the joint CB, C is also a hinge joint, so there should not be any moment, but there we have written plus 52.08 according to the fixed end moment and the convention. So here we will put minus 52.08, right? So by that way we are making the hinge moment as 0. What was the next step? Carryover factor. Carryover factor, what we will do? This is just half of that value. So plus 90, plus 45 carryover factor, and minus 52.08, that will be minus 26.04. Okay. So after that you put a line and you find the initial moment, because you have done one operation where you have done the hinge moment as 0. So what will be the initial moment? You just add the value minus 90 plus 90, so that becomes 0. The next column, plus 90 plus 45, that is plus 135. Then the next column, minus 52.08 minus 26.04 minus 78.12. And the last one, plus 52.08 minus 52.08, 0. So this is the initial moment column, row value. Okay. Now next step is you have to balance the moment according to the distribution factor. See, you understand the meaning, what we are doing and why we are doing. So then it will be easier for you to remember the steps in the sequence. Why we are balancing the moment? So actually we are balancing the moment because, see, if you concentrate on the joint B. If you concentrate on the joint B, there are two members connected, right? BA and BC. But BA and BC are meeting at the joint B, so it cannot happen that at a single joint, if we are talking about the joint B, it cannot happen that the B joint have two different values. Are you getting it? So for that reason we have to balance it. Now the next question comes, how should we balance? We should balance according to their distribution factor of both the members. So BA and BC, they are having the distribution factor as 0.45 and 0.55. So what is the how we will balance the moment? See, the calculation I have shown below. See, plus 135 minus 78.12. So what is the difference between them? That is, the difference between them is 56.88, right? But this is positive. Why? Because 135 is greater, which is positive bending moment, and 78 is the negative bending moment. So their difference has to be positive, correct? So plus 56.88. Now this moment we have to balance it according to the distribution factor. Now BA distribution factor is 0.45. So 56.88 into 0.45, that gives us to be 25.6. Plus 25.6, correct? And 56.88 into 0.55 gives us to be 31.2. These are all positive. Now, if you have to balance this positive moment, how you should do? You should give it with a negative sign. Then only it can be balanced, correct? So I repeat the last step. The initial moment, after finding out the initial moment, you find the difference. The difference comes out to be positive in this case. So if we have to balance the positive moment, we have to give the negative value. We have to give it negative, correct, according to their distribution factor. So that's why we are putting it minus 25.6 and minus 31.2. And finally, what is the answer? Final moment is coming out to be left, it is 0 for the AB. Now for the BA it is 109.4 and BC it is 109.4 and CB it is 0. So after see here both the values are coming same 109.4 109.4, so here we can stop and this is the final iteration. But in case of a complex problem, complex analysis, these two values doesn't come out to be same, so we have to go for iterations after iterations to reach at this value. So finally you see the bending moment. You remember bending moment diagram how we should draw. You remember this value we have got it 109.4, that is at the joint B. So 109.4, you see now the bending moment diagram. So 109.4 is the bending moment diagram, and AB and BC, they are both UDL, so it will be a parabolic bending moment diagram. And what is the maximum value? At D and E it was 135 and 78.12. so this completes the bending moment diagram. So thank you for watching. Hope you have liked my video. So you can share my video, and also for any type of personalized coaching or tuition, you can contact me at prof.meghadatta@gmail.com. So thanks for watching.